Hinode Kotaro was a boy who was always targeted by 3 bullies. They always beat him at various challenges and make him carry their bags. Fortunately for him, he will soon be moving away, so his torture will end. The 3 bullies include Akari Mikazuki, the strongest kid in school, Oborozuki Kanae, the child basketball prodigy, and Mangetsu Shigure, the video game genius. Then there was Kotaro, who was not good at anything and always losing. He had a record of losing 100 times in a row. However, there was something even more humiliating for him than the constant losing. It was being rescued by his neighbor Mizuki. She is the only person who ever stood up to the bullies for him. However, every time she did so, he would feel even more pathetic. Humiliated by the constant bullying, Kotaro runs off and promises to grow taller and stronger so he can beat all 3 of them and get his revenge. It has been 5 years since then. Kotaro has finally moved back to his hometown. Today is his first day at his new school. However, the only thing on his mind is getting his revenge. The teacher is delighted to have him since he got a perfect score on his transfer exam. After his meeting with the teacher, Kotaro leaves the staff room and instantly starts looking around the school for his bullies. It has been 5 years, but those memories are still fresh in his mind. Now that he has moved back from Tokyo, he is ready to demonstrate his skills. While he is walking around, someone suddenly taps him on his shoulder. When he turns around, he is surprised to see that it's a beautiful girl. Kotaro becomes flustered. The girl tells him that she heard about his perfect score from the teacher. He uses this opportunity to start showing off. She grabs his arm, eager to show him around the school. Kotaro feels something strange. Her stomach is unexpectedly rock hard. As her jacket comes loose, he sees why that is. Despite being a girl, she has great abs. Other nearby students are also shocked, but for a different reason. They are surprised that Akari is hanging out with a guy. She infamously turned down 5 guys at the commencement ceremony. This led everyone to believe that she might be a lesbian. They also mentioned that she won the National Wrestling Championship. Something suddenly clicked in Kotaro's mind. Her name is Akira, and she won the wrestling championship. This is the same as one of his childhood bullies. It doesn't take him long to put 2 and 2 together and realize that the girl standing before him is Akira Mikazuki. However, what's even more shocking is the fact that she is a woman. Akira also starts teasing him, not realizing it all the way back then. Soon after, the other 2 bullies also show up. Unsurprisingly, they are also girls. Kotaro, deceived by their beauty, doesn't realize it right away. He gets the shock of his life when they finally reveal that all of them were girls. Kotaro gets down on the floor and starts pounding the ground, feeling a mix of frustration and embarrassment. Now that the cat is out of the bag, it is revealed that even they didn't know that the other 2 were females. Each of them assumed that they were the only girl in the group. They didn't reveal their identity to preserve their friendship. The 3 of them start arguing about who gets the first dibs on Kotaro. Meanwhile, Kotaro notices someone else approaching him. It's a handsome boy in a gym uniform. He comes up to him and says hi. However, Kotaro doesn't recognize him. He pats him on his head, seemingly a bit saddened that Kotaro didn't recognize him. He finally reveals his name. He is Mizuki Akatsuki, his neighbor from childhood, and the person who always stood up for him. Kotaro is left completely dumbfounded. It would seem that everyone from his childhood suddenly had a gender swap. Mizuki explains that he was into cross-dressing as a kid and apologizes for giving him the wrong impression. Once again, he is forced to kneel down and start pounding out of embarrassment. Little did Kotaro know that all 3 of his bullies bullied him because they craved his attention. Right after school, the 3 girls start making their moves. Kanae proposes to take him on a tour of the academy. Akira invites him to come to her dojo, and Shigure wants him to come to her house so they can play video games. Unable to handle their constant barrage of requests, he has no choice but to disappear. While the girls are wondering where he went, they are approached by Mizuki-sensei. He asks to have a private chat with them. Once they are alone in the classroom, he gives them a stern warning, asking them if they are planning to harass Kotaro again. The girls quickly denied it. Shigure even tells him that she never wanted to bully him in the first place. However, Mizuki-sensei is not convinced by her words. 5 years ago, she would always beat him in video games and mocked him afterward. However, she reveals that she liked how cute he looked when he was annoyed. Mizuki-sensei points out that even if she didn't mean to hurt him, she still owes him an apology. The other 2 girls start piling on, trying to thin out the competition. They start teasing her for her weird attitude. However, Mizuki-sensei is quick to point out that they are at fault as well. Akira would always challenge Kotaro to a fight and grab his balls while he was immobile. Meanwhile, Kanae would always challenge him to a game of basketball, knowing he had no chance of winning, and make him strip as punishment. The 2 girls are left speechless upon hearing it. Akira defends herself by telling them that it was just an accident, while Kanae points out that it's only natural to want to see the body of someone you like. Mizuki-sensei reminds them once again that if they bother Kotaro again, then they will not be forgiven. Little did everyone know that Kotaro had been listening in on their entire conversation. He enters the class and tells Mizuki-sensei that he didn't consider that harassment. Those were just the consequences of losing. In fact, they could have treated him more horribly, but they chose not to. Having said that, he finally makes his declaration. He reminds them that it's not over. They will be competing again just like they did 5 years ago. And not just in video games, basketball, or wrestling, they will be competing in everything, from studies to football to karaoke. If they lose, then they will face the same punishments he had to go through. Not realizing the true meaning behind his words, he boldly continues, telling them that they will have to take their clothes off, and he won't stop at just watching. They will be touched all over and they won't be spared. Little does he know that this is more of a reward for the 3 girls rather than punishment. Akira excitedly jumps forward, ready to start competing. However, in a surprising turn of events, Kotaro reveals that he is busy right now. He has a video call with a girl he likes. The 3 girls are left shocked and horrified to hear this. He explains that he met her in Tokyo and instantly fell in love. He used to want another woman, but he turned out to be a man. He explains that she doesn't like weak men. This is why he has to take his revenge and prove that he is the strongest. He challenges them that by the time he finishes high school, he will beat them up and confess his love to her in Tokyo. With that said, he leaves the class. Mizuki-sensei quickly goes after him. The 3 girls are left alone and brokenhearted. Since he was away for 5 years, it would make sense that he found someone he liked. On top of that, the girls always bullied him as a kid. Unlike Akira and Shigure, Kanai is not fazed. She immediately starts planning her next move to impress Kotaro with her uniform. Akira is left surprised. How can she still be thinking like that when he is already taken? However, Kanai doesn't see a problem with that. She believes that as long as they are not officially a couple, she still has a chance. The other 2 try to warn her that she might be going a bit too far. Kotaro might end up hating her because of this. However, Kanai tells them that you don't get to choose who you fall in love with. She boldly declares that she loves him more than anyone else in the whole world and tells them not to get in her way. Angered by this, both Akira and Shigure also scream out that they love him more. With that, the battle to win Kotaro's heart begins. Meanwhile, Mizuki-sensei continues to try and chase him down. He wants an explanation, as he is having a hard time believing that Kotaro has suddenly become so manly. However, Kotaro lets him know that he is also one of those who betrayed him. Mizuki-sensei decides to tease him a bit. He slowly starts to unzip his jacket, catching Kotaro's attention. However, he manages to get a hold of himself and lets Mizuki know that he has already found someone. He asks Kotaro about what kind of girl she is. He simply states that she's the most beautiful girl he's ever seen, highlighting her lovely eyebrows and cute cat ears that everyone adores. She wants to be an idol and is the daughter of a demon king. Mizuki-sensei is left confused upon hearing this. Kotaro finally reveals what he means as he brings out his phone. He was talking about the popular VTuber named Fumi-tan. When he mentioned video calls earlier, he was talking about watching her stream. Listening to this, Mizuki-sensei felt compelled to criticize him harshly. 2 boys are talking about how Kanai is one of the most popular girls in school. She is the student council vice president. She not only has perfect grades but also excels in sports. She also belongs to a rich family. Her father, Tsukimi Kanzern, is world famous. The only one comparable to her is the class president. Everyone can see that they would make the perfect couple. However, Kanai has her eyes set on another person. Kotaro suddenly pops up out of nowhere and challenges her to a basketball match. He proposes the same conditions as when they used to play as kids. Whenever someone scores a 3-pointer, the opponent has to strip off a piece of their clothing. The nearby students become disgusted upon hearing about such a vulgar game. Kanai also plays along, even though she was the one who came up with it. Kotaro is not concerned about what others think. He runs off, telling her not to chicken out. The class president becomes disgusted and tries to console Kanai, telling her that it will be fine. However, he becomes shocked upon realizing that she is happy to have received this challenge. This is the first time he has seen her smile. Kanai walks off, giving the excuse that she needs to finish her duties as the student council vice president. She meets up with Kotaro at the school gym. The gym is currently closed because no club activities are going on. However, Kane uses her student council privileges to get them in. She taunts him, telling him that he won't need to feel embarrassed when taking off his clothes since there is no one around. Confident in her victory, she even gives him a handicap by taking off her blazer right away. However, Kotaro is undeterred. He has tirelessly practiced for the past 5 years, firmly believing in his ability to surpass her. They finally get ready to start. Kotaro once again explains the rules. The first person to score 30 points wins, and if someone scores a 3-pointer, the opponent will have to strip. Finally, the loser will have to do anything the winner says. With that out of the way, the match finally begins. Kanai immediately charges forward. With a swift backhand pass to herself, she easily fools Kotaro. She finishes it off with a fadeaway jump shot and nails a 3-pointer. He is left completely awestruck. She was so quick and agile that he couldn't even react. Since it was a 3-pointer, Kotaro is forced to take off his blazer. Kanai becomes flustered upon seeing this. She had heard that a man's neck is very attractive, but she didn't understand it until this moment. With the ball now in Kotaro's hands, he has a chance to get revenge. He uses a feint to trick her into playing defense. As soon as she falters a little, he uses the opportunity to attempt a fadeaway shot, just like Kanai. She tries to block it, but she is late by just a second. He manages to get the shot off, scores a 3-pointer, and taunts her back by making a sarcastic remark. She is forced to admit that he has gotten a lot stronger. They always beat him back in the day because they competed against him in their area of expertise. They nicknamed him Taro the Minnow. However, none of them really thought of him that way. But now things have changed. She is losing to him for the first time. As part of the challenge, Kanai takes off her shirt. Kotaro becomes completely embarrassed as this is not what he had in mind. Kanai, on the other hand, is unaffected. She boldly claims that they will win no matter what. Her father is the school's administrator, and she will one day become the student council president. This is why she can't lose to anyone. Kanai admits that she had been wearing erotic underwear in preparation for this day. They continue the match, but Kotaro finds himself completely distracted by the awkward situation. He had miscalculated as he thought that she would be embarrassed, but it seems to be the other way around. If this continues, he is convinced that he'll surely lose.
Here I am, know it's been a while. I was in denial about my love. Here I stand, I know I walked away.